Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. All right, we're getting to the end of spring, start of summer sort of season, and it's time to start thinking about what to do with the alliums in the garden, whether they're ready for harvest or not. So we'll go around, have a little bit of a bo peep and see what's going on in my garden. Over in this bed, we've got the majority of the leeks. As you can see, we've got a lot of flowers going on. With leeks, once they start to get the flower, they start to stiffen up in the core, not as good to eat, so we'll harvest those. Now, ideally to harvest in a larger garden, you want to use a fork in a little bed like this, then a trowel, but I haven't made one yet, so we're going to use my little cultivator. So I want to come out wide of the plant, just dig in. And just lift it up until we can pull it easily. There we go, there's our little leek. So I'll clean up the rest of the ones in here that are at this stage. And then we'll have a look at another one. And my replanted supermarket onions, wasn't expecting big things of this, and I wasn't disappointed. As you can see, most of them are shot to seed. And once an onion goes to seed, then it's not going to put any more bulb production on. Chances are all I've got with these ones is vegetative growth. So what we'll do is go through, pull out what's gone to seed. This section here, I've got 2 that have gone to seed, 1 that hasn't gone to seed, so I'll leave that and I'll cut the seed heads off. This has got 2, they're both gone to seed. That's got 3, they're both gone to seed. That's got 2, 1's gone to seed, so again I'll cut the seed head off on that one. Once you cut the seed head off, the bulb's not going to develop anymore for them, but if I leave it in the ground, that's going to give the other bulb a little bit more time to grow. Now, absolutely no reason these flowers can't be cut up and cooked into a dish. And yep, we aren't much bigger than what the onion was to start with. Okay, so once we peel back the layers of the parent material and we're back to the new plants, we are not left with a lot of bulb at all. So as you can see, planting the supermarket onions, yeah, you might get some growth out of it and it looks like you're growing a plant. You're not really growing much. And yep, I can still cut those up, use them for dinner. I'd use them fresh, I wouldn't try and cure these, but yeah. And I could have just cut them up when they were starting to sprout and got the same effect. All right, here we have our weedy bucket of Egyptian walking onion. As you can see, it's still pretty green and we're losing the odd leaf and that sort of thing. Nothing to worry about. Until those tops die down, we're gonna leave those in place and we should get bulbils forming up on the upgrowth as well. So for now, for the Egyptian walking onions, we just leave them alone. Here we've got our potato onions. As you can see, we're starting to get a bit of dieback in these, but it's not major dieback and it's not something I'm concerned with at the moment. I tend to think it might be more due to the fact that we've had 8 inches of rain in the last week, if not more, and we're due for more rain coming. So I tend to think any dieback's coming from that. They're still sprouting new stuff. So happy to leave them run for the moment. When they die back, that's when we're going to pull them. We want about 30 to 50% dead and then we'll pull them up. Garlic plants, much different from the onion. They will keep growing even after they've put that flower up there. So the bulb will start growing. We cut the scape off and that way it's going to put more effort into the bulb production. Again, same with this one. And again, these scapes are wonderful to add into dinner. I got some lamb chops for dinner tonight, so they're going to have some leek and some garlic scapes in them. Absolutely gorgeous. Some of them are suffering a bit from this wet weather we're having. You can see we've got leaning over, a bit of yellowing. At the moment, I'm happy to let them run. And that one's probably the worst affected, maybe a little bit of rust on that one. But yeah, at the moment, I'm happy to let them run and see what they do. And if they start dying back too much, then I'll pull these up. And lastly, we come to our shallots. Again, these are more of an onion than a garlic. We've got flowers going on. So anything that's got flowers on all of them, I'm gonna pull it. Anything that's only got flowers on one of a couple, I'm gonna leave it in there. So let's pull some of this up. Right, not too bad at all. They were single bowls of that size when I put them in there. So these will get a wash off and then they'll go to cure, and I'll explain that a bit more in a second. I'll just clear what I got to out of here. Okay, so there's our little harvest for today. We've got our leeks, which are for fresh use. You don't want to leave them sitting around too long. Ideally, yeah, you don't cure your leeks, you use them fresh. These onions, which were the supermarket ones, I'm not going to waste them. I'm going to use what bowl I've got and use them fresh. We've got the flowers off the onions. We've got the garlic scapes. And lastly, we have our shallots. As you can see, nice haul. Probably took about half out of there. Now, the big difference between these and those supermarket onions is, have a look at the amount of parent material left on it. Not a lot at all. So before we cure it, we're just going to take that parent material off. And if I've got any leaf that doesn't want to sit tight against, I'll just take that off too. Ideally, these should be harvested out of dry ground and they're going to work a bit better. But as I said, I've had a week of rain and I'm looking at another couple of weeks. Okay, once we've got the outsides clean, we're just going to take most of the leaf matter off. That one, leave about 3 shoots in there. And now we get to the fun part. As you can see, I've left the roots on there. I've left most of the top on them. What we're going to do is just stagger the heights on them. Then I'm going to tie them together. Okay, then much the same as my bread video the other day, we're going to start plaiting. Okay, and as we come up, we're going to add some more in there. Okay, we'll just bring whatever tops we got back over. We tie it up at the top, and there we have a rather ordinary looking plait of shallots. Much easier if you do it on the kitchen bench rather than on the grass out the front. Okay, so we need to go hang that up. Needs to be in a cool, not cold, warm, not hot area with some breeze on it. Needs to sit there for a couple of weeks. You want to watch everything. You get the brown papery appearance on the flesh, and the stalk should start drying off as well. All right, thank you very much everyone for watching, and bye for now.